a highly debated and often misunderstood verse in the Quran. Surah An-Nisa, verse 34.
Beat her lightly.
And final resort is to beat them.
That though it means beat them, it's not an instruction to husbands to beat their wife.
ما ضرب أحدا قط. The Prophet never struck anybody بيده.
But the central question that this verse poses to our minds is that regardless of what it is that the wife has been doing, does the husband really have permission to beat his wife? So, to tackle this, we'll break our discussion into two sections. First, we'll explore how classical scholars have traditionally understood it, including its impact on Islamic jurisprudence. In the second part, we'll examine how modern scholars revisit these interpretations to align with contemporary values and realities. The crux of the matter is whether, under any condition, men are allowed to beat their wives. The classical commentators almost universally said, yes, it does give permission, but the classical scholars approach this verse within the context of their time, society, and understanding of the Arabic language. Imam al-Tabari, one of the earliest and most respected commentators, explains that the word used in the verse idribuhunna refers to a light symbolic strike. He emphasizes that it is not meant to cause harm or injury and should only be a last resort after advising and separation. In Hanafi and Maliki fiqh, physical discipline was permitted under strict conditions but was heavily discouraged. Classical scholars advised against it, warning that it could lead to sin if abused.
Similar to this is the comments of Imam al-Qurtubi, a classical Andalusian scholar, who elaborates on the conditions of this striking. He insists it must be non-violent and primarily symbolic. He even goes further, stating that avoiding it altogether is preferable, as the Prophet Muhammad never struck his wives. Ibn Kathir, another highly influential scholar, echoes similar sentiments. He interprets the word used in the verse as a last step that should be mild and non-injurious. He references prophetic traditions, such as the hadith where the Prophet said, "The best of you are those who are best to their wives." So, dear Muslims, we must understand that classical commentaries were the products of their time. In pre-modern societies, physical discipline was culturally normalized in ways that are not today. This is precisely why revisiting these interpretations to reconcile with contemporary values and realities could be extremely important. Many Islamic legal institutions in various parts of the world have kind of updated their interpretations. For example, the Council of Islamic Ideology in Pakistan and Al-Azhar University in Egypt have publicly condemned domestic violence, emphasizing that any form of harm violates Islamic ethics. Again, many contemporary scholars revisit this verse to align its meaning with the universal Islamic principles of justice, compassion, and equality, especially in light of modern values and social norms. But more importantly, the prophetic teachings provide crucial context for this interpretation because the Prophet Muhammad explicitly condemned violence against women, as seen in a hadith of Sunan Abu Dawud where he said, "Do not strike the female servants of Allah." Furthermore, his own example shows that he never struck his wives, even in times of conflict. Scholars like Dr. Jonathan Brown argue that the prophetic model is the gold standard for understanding Quranic ethics, making nonviolence the preferred interpretation of this verse.
You have to look at what the Sunnah of the Prophet is telling you to understand the intended meaning of the text.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more authentic Islamic content, and once again thank you for joining me in this exploration.